Welcome, everyone, to the Hunt Podcast. This is episode 9.5. Reason for the point 5 is because it is just me here, your host, Kenny. I am solo dolo. I decided to do a improv, just random Monday night beer session. That's what we're going to do. Connor is he's at home laying up. Hopefully he feels better. Hopefully he feels better in time for Thursday for our show where we can record episode 10. But if not, we will continue doing content together and making it for you guys. So just wanted to get a few things here off my chest. I was going to be doing a series of interviews with certain people to just kind of get a different, scope, get a different outlook, different viewpoint of other hunters, especially in our area where, what are they looking for? How are they doing things? When do they go in? When do they go out? Their style of hunting, what they're looking for. And we definitely plan on doing that. We had one fall through. It's okay. We'll have to get our shit together. So that's going to be it for that. So go into my weekend here. Yesterday, it was super nice outside here in Virginia, especially Northern Virginia, where it was like 65, 70 degrees on 12 January. And it was just like, I'm going to go put out some cameras. So I pulled all my cameras like 2 weeks ago, or at the end of deer season. I pulled my cameras, clean them off, make sure the batteries are okay, check the camera, just make sure that I got all the pics that I needed to see, make sure I wasn't missing anything, and I deleted stuff that I needed to delete, put them back in, and get all the cameras back in working order. So it was definitely a maintenance week for me last week, but I decided just to throw them back out there. So I was able to take 5 cameras yesterday and put them out just in my local spot, my public land spot, and just to see what's out there. I'm actually really, really excited because what I want to see is I want to do some shed hunting this year, and I want to see deer with one rack on one side, and that lets me know, hey, this deer's walking in this area. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pick up a shed. Not only that, I'm going to get his ass and dial it in for next year, especially if he makes it over the summer. So I'm drinking Bud Heavy right now, guys. This is not my normal Kenny beer session. Connor, I appreciate you for the inspiration to drink Bud Heavy, and you're right, it does taste really, really good. So we'll just do that. This is the King. So I'm going to go ahead and let the King sit here. But, yeah, so as far as the camera picks, what I was able to find out based off of all the stuff that I pulled was that there were a lot of buck activity where I was just 30, sometimes 40 yards out of the way. So I would put my camera more or less, in the general area of my stand. I didn't put them where my actual stands were. And my camera were showing deer, and my stand was just a little bit on the other side of the thick, other side of the bedding area, other side of the creek. So I was like almost there, but not quite. So that sucks. It definitely sucks, but I learned a lot. So we'll have to play it by ear. So what I was able to find was that I had an 8-point. And this is the public spot. I had an 8-point. He made it. He actually showed face on camera all year, but never showed face in person. And it makes total sense. It was because he was coming, like when I would go there in the morning, he'd come in the afternoon. When I go in the afternoon, he'd be there in the morning. So he kind of had me dialed in rather than I having him dialed in. But if I stick to my plan, and this is my plan is going to be keeping trail cameras out all year round. Now, I was able to pick up and join Connor's team over at his location. So they're probably going to have 5 to 6 more cameras out there this year than what they had last year. Because I'm going to be throwing some more out there for the squad. So just want to make sure Paramount is taken care of all around. And but no, going back to my public, I was like right there. I was right there, and my own little public spot, super small little public spot that I have, it's a pinch. and I knew it was going to be a good area, but look at it as a triangle. Look at it as a triangle. So my stand was right here, and then the camera is right here. These deer were coming from right here to here, but this is like 60 yards out. It's 60 yards out, and it's thick. So I was like super close, but not quite. But yeah, I'm going to be definitely putting boots on the ground, covering a lot of ground this year. I'm not even going to get into the waterfowl game at all. What I heard so far is it's a very, very, very tough hunt for everyone. And I'd rather spend my time preparing myself for the next season rather than, I'm not going to say wasted, but I don't have a lot of time. And the time that I do have, I want to make sure I capitalize on it the most. And there's nothing better, in my opinion, than shooting a big-ass monster and taking a picture of it. That's what I want to do. So, and that's what I'm going to do. So I was able to clean up all my stuff, and I threw them back out. I changed them up a little bit, so I marked my old locations as far as my old camera spots, and then I picked out 5 more camera spots. So now I have 10 camera spots to put out in my own spot. Not to mention my small little private area. I went in the woods on Saturday morning, went hunting. It's doe season for me, so I went there to go, doe hunt, and actually pulled one of my hang-on tree stands because I don't want it to get beat up all during the winter. We're about to catch the worst of the winter, especially in January, February. So I want to make sure I pull my stuff down, and when I do go up from here on out, especially in that area, it's just going to be on my climber, in and out, up and down, call it a day. But I put the camera out on Friday afternoon and just pulled the camera Saturday morning after my hunt just to see what's there. And I was able to see that there was a 2.5-year-old deer, but he's a shooter to me where I was, but I'm glad that he made it past this year. I have seen him before. I've seen him in the distance on the other side of the sod farm, but I definitely was able to know that he was there actually at like 1 or 2 a.m. He was there, going right there, and he cut right in front of my camera. I was able to get a really, really, really good view of him. So I think next year when he becomes 3.5, he's going to be a for shooter 1,000%. I'm going to actually name him. I got to figure out a name. I might let Connor name him. He saw the picture. He was the first person I shot it to. So that's that. So that's where I was. I was just spending all weekend doing deer activity when I should have been waterfowl, or I normally would waterfowl hunt. I was doing deer activity, and I had a lot of fun, man. I covered a lot of ground that I haven't been on before, and I have 10 camera spots out now with 5 cameras. So I'm going to get some more cameras, put them in everywhere, spread them around, spread the wealth, and gain knowledge. I'm just going to gain knowledge. And now that I'm actually in the woods, I'm going to be able to see the landscape and be able to see the layout and be able to see everything, because there are no leaves on the ground whatsoever. No leaves in the trees. Everything is bare. You can see everything. The topo, you can see drops, you can see pinch points, you can see bedding areas, you can see everything that you wouldn't normally see if you were to go scouting in the summertime for the season. So I'm glad that I was able to go out there, and I'm going to continue going out there just to make sure I'm taking notes, make sure I'm doing what I need to do just to make sure that I'm in the right spot. So that's going to be my off season. I've also gotten back into the I kind of fell off the wagon as far as like my eating schedule and my eating habits. And deer season, I actually lived out of my truck from like September all the way till 2 weeks ago. And it was even last week. And my truck was a mess. My body's a mess. I've just been eating when I could, waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, just eating what I can during that time. Sleep schedule not good. Eat not good. No cardio, no lifting, no nothing. It was just straight deer mode. So I've actually started to get my the process of getting my body back, and that's going to be definitely a work in process. But to me, that's important. I want to be able to sit in the stand, pull that deer out, and do what I need to do without being winded. And that's it. That's what I'm going to do. So my next topic is really just going to be motivation. What motivates you guys? It's probably not the same thing that motivates me. I'm motivated by knowing that I did my job correctly. Whether it be letting deer walk. You know what? I could have shot these deer. I decided not to. But you know what? I did it correctly because I was in the right place at the right time, in the right situation, and I was there. I'll definitely be doing a lot more limb trimming this year than what I did. I was really a mobile hunter this year. I tried to take on the mobile hunting mentality where I would just run and shoot. So it didn't really take my time into doing what I needed to do as far as limb trimming. So there were definitely some limbs in my way, especially on that big guy in Nokesville, and definitely kicking myself in the ass. So I'm going to be less mobile, more intelligent. So I'm going to be in the right place. I just got to be there at the right time. So that's what I'm going to do. So no more focusing my energy on live scouting. Live scouting only gets you so far because it leaves you so much room for error. I want to eliminate that error and just be at the right place at the right time, just based off of deer movement. And I'm going to utilize the rut as like the icing on the cake or the wild card, and focus on activity pre-rut and pre-rut, and then post-rut into secondary rut. They kind of bunch back up in between that rut section. So I'm going to focus on pre-rut and post-rut, and then just be at the right place at the right time, hopefully, for the rut itself. And that's going to be my game plan. And I actually did it wrong this year, and I'm learning that now. But I learned a lot, and it was super cool. I was actually out with my wife. I took my wife. She went in the woods with me, so it was awesome. And we were able to, while we were moving cameras, we saw a basket 8. And why I know it was a basket 8, because it was probably 15 yards from me. He was bedded in an area where my camera was facing the opposite way, because that's where it always faced. Why the hell is nothing showing up on his camera on the other side? So I moved my camera, looked up, and I saw a rack stand up. And it was probably 10 inches apart, but he's going to drop it and he's going to grow. So he's definitely a 2.5-year-old deer as well. So next year he's going to be 3.5. He'll be a shooter as well if he stays on the same path. So there's a lot of movement, a lot of tracks over there. So it prompted me, what the hell? This deer just got up. And the thing about him was that he didn't get up and he didn't run away. He just moseyed on over. I woke him up from his nap, and he just moved over a little bit, just stood there, didn't even look at us, just kept it moving. So definitely good. What I'm also going to be doing is I'm going to be acquiring a lot more stands. I have realized that I have beat my body down to the point where over the season I was physically exhausted after the rut. So after the second week of November, I was physically exhausted. Not only mentally, I was physically exhausted. So I would lug around my hang on, try to do the old hang and bang. I did the climber, do the climb up, climb down, carry everything in, everything out, keep it mobile. Not so much this year. I'm definitely going to be putting more stands out, and then less in, less out, less noise, just up and down, make it happen. Create good entrances, create good exits, and that's it. But no, I mean, that's what I'm doing right now is just having a beer session, just talking about my game plan. And if you guys don't agree, let me know, man. I might switch it up. Shit, there's no right or wrong way with this, especially for me. But I'm definitely going to look at deer season this year, specifically pre-rut and post-rut, in a complete different way, because I was focused on the rut. And the rut's just a wild card. You have no idea. All the pattern that was created and that you figured you got this deer locked in, and then the next day he moves 600 yards to your left and he's dead by someone else just because he was chasing a doe. So that's it. I'm going to get into this a lot more, maybe on my own, because I don't know if it really matches the